We've all seen the videos and the lists of people that are bugged by something that other people don't seem to be bugged by. Everyone seems to be bothered over something. We've had that going on for the last few years. Let's take a look at the opposite of it. Not stuff that we like, or stuff that gets us going, but not stuff that we hate. What is something that bothers other people that you don't really care about? Story 1. I know this is really specific, but a 78-year-old guy recently stabbed a 38-year-old intruder in his home. The intruder expired. The old man was arrested. It's been in the local news. People are losing their cool about it, that it's disgusting to arrest the old man. That's the state of our country. It's pathetic, blah, blah, blah. I sincerely hope that after the investigation has run its course and the facts have all come to light, the old man is acquitted. And it's tragic that all this happened to him, but for pity's sake, of course he was arrested. As if the officers on the scene could go, "All right, you're old as dirt, mate. Nah, don't worry about it. We don't arrest old people. And we fully appraised the situation, and it was all this silly mongrel's fault. You were definitely right. We'll just get this body out of here and be off. Cheers." People are disgusted that this old dude was arrested. Very sad all around, but chill out. Of course he was. There's no suggestion that he's been ill-treated. Hopefully, justice will prevail. There are procedures for a reason. I mean, if the guy he stabbed was an intruder, wouldn't it be classed as self-defense? Should be, but the police investigate to make sure that's really the case. I don't know if I'm bothered by this or not. In a way, it shows that the police force doesn't show favoritism. In a situation like this, of course the person would have to be arrested and investigated before they're cleared. Again, I don't know any other details about this story. Now, if it was someone young and rich and they weren't arrested, that would bother me. Story 2. People being gay. It's never bothered me, but for some reason people lose their cool if a gay person is around them. I've never understood this. I'm a Southern conservative Christian, but I literally cannot understand how people of my demographic can hate another person just because they love someone of the same sex. I see a lot of gay relationships that are a much better example of loving and healthy partnerships and parenting than Tammy and Jim Bob down the street who are both working on their third marriage and ignoring their 6 children in favor of watching NASCAR. On a similar note, I've never understood the argument, "Well, how do I explain homosexual couples to my kids?" It's simple. You tell them they love each other like insert heterosexual couple. Kids will just absorb that stuff and accept it like all of my younger cousins did when my oldest cousin came home with his boyfriend. The only kids who will truly have a problem with LGBT people are kids who have been taught from an early age that it's wrong. This I wholeheartedly agree with. I think maybe a lot of these conservative or otherwise quote-unquote moral people have an issue because they think gay people are all about the hookup lifestyle or something. It's not like that. There are couples that are gay that are committed just solely to each other in the relationship. I've known gay couples that are just amazing, that have stayed together for a long time and are committed to each other. Story 3. Eating certain food at the wrong time or in the wrong order. I may start the day with roast vegetables and have porridge in the evening, eat 5 small meals in one day, then one big one the next day while snacking on bits of fruit over the rest of the day. I'll also happily eat just a bowl of butter beans or lentils. If it comes in a can, I'll just eat it as a mini-meal. Food is food to me. Edit. Some people have mentioned this. I'll throw seasonal foods into the mix. Ice cream in winter or hot chocolate in summer is totally cool by me. How can you eat leftover pizza at 8 a.m.? Like, what the hell? Why would I be cool with eating it at 4 p.m. but not now? What's the problem? It tastes the absolute same. I had a ham and cheese Hot Pocket for breakfast at work one day, and a coworker was giving me hell about it. Okay, what's the difference between what I'm eating and the ham and cheese biscuit you're eating? Also, who cares? I think the only reason you would have to care is if someone is continually eating unhealthy at every meal. Like overly sweet or overly salty food every meal all the time. If they're balanced meals, but they're eating breakfast-type food at dinner and dinner-type food at breakfast, yeah, I don't see a problem with it. Story 4. When I'm driving with someone and with little notice, I'm instructed to make a quick exit or turn. I miss the exit or turn, and the person yells, "Oh my God, you missed it! Now we have to U-turn, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just sitting there, content with my decision to not risk our lives by cutting traffic, hitting someone on a road median, etc. Getting somewhere 3 minutes faster by risking your life is not worth it. Ooh, you should have me as a sidekick. Multiple times I've been commented on as being a very calm co-driver and not getting upset when people miss their turn, and instead just quickly trying to figure out where to go next from here. I didn't even know you could do it differently. Just seemed like the most sensible thing to me. If someone gets upset you missed a turn when you can just go one more block up and get where you're going safely, you need to drop that entitled piece of dirt on the curb and keep going on your own. Story 5. Who the hell is Logan Paul anyway? I agree that it's better or easier to just ignore celebrities instead of actively wasting energy hating them. That's pointless. However, what bothers me about the Paul brothers is the influence they have over young kids that watch their videos and other similar channels. I don't want to sound like an old grump, but they're such obnoxious entitled man-children, and it sucks that they have a platform for kids to try to imitate their behavior. So while their fame does annoy me, the Pauls themselves don't annoy me as much as parents who buy smartphones and tablets for their kids when they're really young. Edit. To clarify, not just parents that buy the electronics, but parents that let YouTube, the internet, or social media teach their kids values and how to treat people. Obviously, you can't control everything your kid sees online, but parents should at least be teaching their children enough that they don't end up considering the Pauls as an example of normal behavior for young adults. Right? Story 6. When someone has a different opinion and speaks on it. Cool. I'm interested to see what makes you think that way. If people can politely explain their opinions to me, I'm all for the discussion. I enjoy it. It's learning. I don't understand why anyone wouldn't want to learn more about the people and the world around them. We are all uniquely individual beings with unique experiences and perspectives and thoughts, and that's an amazing thing. I might not agree with the opinion, but I will try to be polite about it until the other person starts not being polite to me. The art of debate is dying. People are offended when you don't share their opinion, or they think their opinion is a fact, or that they think when someone says something, it means they think it's a fact, when they're really just sharing their opinion. There's a lot of caveats with this one. If the person is sharing an opinion, and they're reasonable, and they don't expect you to share that opinion as well, then that's great. That's them expressing their opinion and discussing it, maybe showing you a different way of thinking than you normally would. Maybe you'll come around to their way of thinking. I think the big issue comes in people that state their opinion as fact or law or the only way. And when they get mad that you don't think as they do, then that's the issue. Story 7. What other people do with their money. I'm not super stingy with money. I spend pretty liberally. Not extravagantly, but when I food shop, for example, I don't check prices. I just buy what I want. It's my money and my choice. I have a friend who gets angry with me for not knowing how much I spent on things or for not choosing the cheapest. I'm the opposite. I'm an extreme cheapie, but I don't blame others for spending differently. My other friends make fun of my friend for buying a really expensive guitar recently, but he loves that thing. That's my mom. She asks me how much oranges cost where I live. I don't know. If I want oranges, I buy them. It's not like I'm buying a house. It's fruit. Story 8. Gen Z doesn't have an opinion because they eat Tide Pods. I feel like the people complaining about this are really out of touch with their own generation's stupidity. One of the main offenders I see on Facebook is the same person that held his hand in front of a blowtorch for fun. Every generation has stupid people. We're just so much into the digital age that whenever someone does something stupid, the whole world sees. Gen X here. Every few weeks I see one of my peers sharing something like, "My generation don't need to be told don't try this at home because we weren't stupid." When actually, the whole kids don't try this at home started in 1980 on the show That's Incredible because we were being stupid. Story 9. Probably going to get a lot of guff for this, but the Facebook security breach. If they have my information along with 87 million others, does mine really matter that much? You are a market fragment. 87 million of people like you create the data a company used to sell stuff. It's nothing that affects you personally, but if you ask me, you can't complain if you constantly feed data into something that's free and then be bothered that they're using the data. I suppose it's how you use it. I rarely give Facebook anything, but I suppose it does use my likes to tailor ads and whatnot to me. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's one we've all accepted, or most of us have accepted. We have this amazing tool for communication, but we don't want to pay for it. We have happily given up our data and our information about ourselves just to use this project. There have been people that have tried to do a paid version of various social networks. They never took off because no one wanted to pay. We were all happy to give up our information. Story 10. Breastfeeding in public. That baby hungry? Feed it, wherever, however you need to. I was walking through the mall once with some friends I'd gone up north to visit, and they brought some people I didn't know. One of the guys says as we're walking by a breastfeeding mother, "That's really gross, man. Like, how can you just whomp out your breasts in public?" To which my friend replied, "You're not the one to talk. You self-stimulate to midget corn at work. Loud enough that we'd hear it, but not loud enough for anyone else to hear." What a rude thing to say. How embarrassing for you. Made a ready reply for you all next time someone comments. Story 11. Online reposts. Oh, heaven forbid someone else posts something for useless internet points. Most of the time, repost gets commented I haven't seen before, assuming other people haven't. And if it's funny or cool, then I'm happy someone reposted. If not, meh. I have a scroll wheel and functional middle finger for a reason, or two. I agree, especially on certain sites. I don't care about the originality of the questions. I just want to read about the creepiest things that have happened to people for the 20th time. There are always new responses. Story 12. This is not something a lot of people here will probably relate to, but I don't mind people who try to learn Japanese because they're weebs. Those people might be annoying sometimes, but the way I see it, they're just trying to understand something that makes them happy, and at least trying to do something with their obsession. As long as it's not harming themselves or others, it's all groovy. If only more people thought this way, it'd make the world a much more peaceful place. I think people think weebs learn Japanese for, quote, the wrong reasons, unquote. I tend to agree with this person. I think if someone like that learns Japanese and they get immersed in that culture or they're living in Japan, they'll learn that it's not the way it is in the anime. Being able to learn something that lets you immerse yourself in the real culture, you're going to learn what Japan really is like. I think that can only expand your knowledge. I think it's cool that they're doing something to help them get more into something that they like, and maybe they'll learn something about what it's really like. Story 13. The cost of food at an entertainment venue like a ball game or movie. I don't consider it a ripoff because nobody is making me buy it. And if I do buy it, it was obviously worth it. I go to a lot of baseball games. They don't allow outside food or drink in search bags. $4 for a bottle of water when I'm there for 3.5 hours in the middle of summer is hogwash. Other than that, I see your point. You're right. I remember Woodstock 99. There was serious price gouging on water. Story 14. When people put the toilet paper on the wrong way. If I spent my life caring about something that small, I'd have a heart attack by 25, shaking my head. I think I'm the only person I know who honestly does not care either way. I understand if you have a cat or toddler, but it's never in the slightest bothered me which way I have to roll the paper. I'm just glad there is paper. You're not alone. When asked, I can't even answer, because I don't pay attention to it.
Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day.
Story 15. What other people think of me. I remember the day I stopped giving a care. It was a cold April day on my 42nd birthday. I've never felt freer since. Pro tip: when possible, never justify yourself. Your friends don't need it and your enemies don't believe it, so curse them all and just do you. And when you can't follow that maxim, such as in work scenarios, just don't give them any more information than they need to know. In general, they don't really give a care about you anyway, so don't waste your time appealing to their empathy. Just keep your own counsel. Story 16. Kids crying on airplanes. Man, those poor parents. If I'm close by, I offer to help, and if not, just shove in noise-isolating headphones and crank it up while I read. I think this is a topic which is very much affected by how long you're on the flight. An hour day flight versus a 15-plus-hour red-eye. On a 15-hour flight, I would be impressed if a little kid didn't get fussy at least once. Last time I was on a flight that long, even I was on the verge of tears from being so damn uncomfortable and bored. Story 17. What other people choose to eat or drink, besides possibly health considerations. I have better things to do than dump on people for drinking cider, eating pineapple pizza, overcooked steak, veggie burgers, whatever. Go eat what you want. I'm not a fan of telling people what to do. Edit. I love cider. It's alcoholic and delicious. I do not love people who hate on people that love cider. Wait, do people dump on other people for drinking cider? It's alcoholic juice. What's not to like? Story 18. Finding a hair in my food. Unless it's a pube, it's probably not that dirty. Just pull it out and go about your day. As a health inspector, I can assure you that no one has ever gotten sick from a hair in their food. Hair restraints are required mostly because of the ick factor, and also because if your hair is super long, it could cause cross-contamination. Hair restraints. Read that as hair restaurants. Was pretty confused for about 7 seconds. I don't think I ever believed you could get sick from a hair in your food, but I still get kind of an ick factor if I find a hair in my food. I don't hold it against anybody, but I still can't finish what I'm eating. For some reason, something instinctual in me just kind of rears back and pushes away whatever I had there. Story 19. Driving in traffic. It gives me time to catch up on podcasts. I get it, but when it takes 45 minutes to get to work when it would take 15 minutes without traffic, it starts to kind of bug you. But that car on the other side of the divided highway is pulled over by the police. Doesn't matter, there are 4 lanes and a wall. We better all slow down. Story 20. Airline travel. Objectively, it's awesome. Want to get 3,000 miles away? A 5-hour trip. It's like magic. The Wi-Fi on my plane didn't work. This is hogwash. What happened then? Did you fly through the air impossibly? Did you soar through the heavens and arrive somewhere thousands of miles away a few hours later? Also, airports are one of the few places where it's socially acceptable to drink any time of the day. Story 21. People who complain about a movie not having a likable protagonist. I'm fine even if the hero is cruel, malevolent, and egocentric, because evil is just as human as any likable protagonist. And I can empathize with both. Likable doesn't equate to moral. Hannibal Lecter is likable, and also unrepentantly violent and evil. Story 22. Using the one example of an online jerkwad to make a mountain out of a molehill instead of ignoring and marginalizing that person, which is far more effective. User Lost in Transactions has used the phrase, make a mountain out of a molehill, a phrase which here means to make a big deal out of something small that needn't be worried about. I'm outraged and offended. Story 23. Someone not holding a door for me. We all have places to be. No big deal. I kind of agree, but I feel like if I'm within arm's reach of you, it doesn't hurt to hold it for an extra 0.5 seconds as you're walking through, or give it an extra little push to keep it open a wee bit longer to save me from having to catch it and reopen it from halfway closed. Story 24. Curse words in almost any setting. Sometimes a curse word is the best word to use in a particular scenario. Agreed. My sister hates the word hate and tries to tell me off every time I say it, but often it's the perfect word to describe my dislike of something. Not to mention that she says hate all the time herself. My aunt used to tell me, we don't hate, we strongly dislike. Shrew, ain't nobody got time for that. Story 25. Other people being bad at video games. Some people can be so toxic, and I really don't get it. We all have bad games. And you had to be the one getting flamed at one point and thought, I usually don't play this awful. So the next time someone on your team is going like 0 out of 10, remember when you went 0 out of 10. They probably already feel awful enough about their performance without your antagonizing words. Toxicity helps no one. Story 26. Men putting down the toilet seat. I'm a woman who puts the toilet seat down myself my whole life and never found issue with it. Why does the onus for putting the seat up or down have to be on men? Everyone should put the seat on the lids down before they flush so the pee and poo particles don't fly through the air onto your toothbrush. This is why you don't put toilets into bathrooms. Story 27. Leggings as pants. As a dude who wears spats to jujitsu, why can't I wear them to work but the girls can? With the amount of squats and running I do, my wife is jealous of my butt. Be the change you want to see. Bring back tights. Men in tights. Story 28. Someone not saying you're welcome after I say thank you. I just figure I'm the thankful one, and it's weird to feel you owe me a response. I'm more caught off guard when people actually respond. Saying it was my pleasure irks me something fierce, though. Get that Chick-fil-A stuff out of here. It bothers me, too, because it sounds so unnatural. Story 29. What other people do with their money. What if they buy cordless alarm clocks and hide them all around your house? I would find this behavior alarming, to say the least. Edit. Thanks for supporting us in giving me gold, kind stranger of strangers. Story 30. The word moist. It's a really useful word. It makes me furious that it's become this sort of cutesy taboo now. Curse you, I'm still using it. I think it's one of those things people don't like because the internet told them they have to dislike it, like Nickelback. Story 31. Paid spicy time. Lots of jobs require you to use your body to make money. Construction, pro athletes, dancers, models, etc. Use your genitals and it's, oh news, won't someone think of the children? Consenting adults should be able to do whatever they want. Story 32. What celebrities do. They're just people. They're entitled to live their lives in private if they wish. I have no interest in what they're wearing, where they've been for lunch, or what they said to someone. Story 33. Nickelback. Lots of people say they're awful and hate them. I don't mind them. I don't actively listen to them, but I enjoy them more than a lot of the junk bands I hear on the radio. Story 34. When someone says, hey, guess what? Then you say, what? And they say, never mind. I know many people that infuriates them. I just don't really care. Story 35. Seeking attention online. If someone posts 10 selfies a day or is vague posting, I really don't care. I'll just scroll past and go on with my day. Story 36. Silence. I am perfectly comfortable with being in someone's company and not having to fill in the silence with pointless small talk. Story 37. If one likes their steak well done. I don't care, man. All you're eating is nutrients, after all, and it's gonna turn into junk. Story 38. Jimmy Fallon. If someone laughing a lot makes you seethe with anger, it might be time to lighten up a bit. Story 39. Which way the toilet roll goes. I am a full-grown adult. I can rip toilet paper off regardless. Story 40. When someone says moist. The word really doesn't bother me in the slightest. Story 41. Celebrity breakup. Celebrities.
Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.